And, I want to address the soft part of the schedule stuff here because, coming into March, okay, I can't say much about soft schedule. They played the Houston Rockets twice, but this was supposed to be a rather difficult to modest part of the schedule. You had the Warriors twice, Dallas 3 times. You have Atlanta on the road. Everyone thought Atlanta was going to be pretty good, but they are the definition of, as MJF would say, mid. You had the Los Angeles Lakers, Los Angeles Clippers, and Denver Nuggets on the road, who they did lose to on the road. But, yes, the Mavericks didn't have Luka for any of those games. The Mavericks also didn't have Kyrie for 2 of those games. Golden State had everyone except for Wiggins, but the Memphis Grizzlies did not have Ja Morant, Steven Adams, Brandon Clark. 3 rotation players, 2 starters, one of them being their best player, one of them probably being one of the most low-key important players on the team. So yeah, cool. They had opponents. There's a little injury luck with opponents, but also the Grizzlies weren't exactly the luckiest either when it comes to absences. But you know what? 6 straight wins as of this recording, and 9 of the last 10 as of this recording. That's some good stuff, Sean Coleman.
Absolutely. And this is where you start to get into where you need to put, the relevance of what has led to the Grizzlies having, their best stretcher. I put a stat out there earlier on Twitter that over the past 10 games, the Grizzlies have made 150 threes, the most threes that they've ever made over a 10-game stretch. That's also coincided with them having the highest true shooting percentage that they've ever had. In the month of March, Parker, we're top 5, or we're pushing top 5 in terms of half court offense, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage. The 2 general concerns of this offense were shot selection and half court offense. We absolutely are excelling in those areas. And I think that the biggest thing of all to notice is the 3 players that you mentioned, Ja Morant, Brandon Clark, and Steven Adams. What's the part of their games that they all have in common that they don't really feature that often, at least to a high level? It's shooting from distance. No offense to Ja Morant. He's hot, he's cold at times when it comes to that. So I think that when we talk about sustainability and significance of what we've seen so far from the Grizzlies, it's the fact that they have adjusted to featuring the strengths of the roster that they had at their disposal, which was shooting the 3. Tyus, Jaren, Dez, Luke Kennard, others. We've seen Roddy and Santi do real well. But without those guys, the Grizz have done 2 things very well offensively. They've featured the hell out of Jaren Jackson Jr., and they've become much more resourceful at having success from 3. Now, the Grizzlies are not going to average 15 threes a game moving forward. They're likely not going to shoot 39%. They're likely not going to have a true shooting percentage above 60%. But the big key is that they've built the confidence in knowing they can at least perform at that level for certain stretches of games, even against quality competition. That's the big thing that stands out. Again, one of my favorite stats that I like to throw out there, the Grizzlies are now 64-11 when they simply shoot 35% or better from 3. When you're featuring Tyus, Jaren, Dez, Kennard, and others, you should be able to get there pretty consistently. And that's what comes away from this. If the Grizzlies can be able to feature the 3 in a more reliable fashion in crucial times of the game consistently, that's what should come from this stretch. That's the big thing that we're hoping is sustainable, and that's what's going to be a big key for us surviving and thriving in the playoffs.